Nonito Donaire is back again this Sunday, sorry, against Raku Masuda. He was only out in December and he is back now. And whether this is his last fight or not, I don't know. He had two in 2025. Whether this is his last year in the sport, I don't know. But against another quick, awkward Japanese boxer, it's going to be a really tough one for Donaire. And again, up against another upcomer. To be honest, it's not going to be easy. It's against Riku Masuda, 28 years old. Donaire's 43 now. Um, he's making stuff hard for himself, but he's still staying competitive. Obviously, he had a comeback fight against Campos, won, was able to win that fight, technical decision. Came back, fought Tatsumi, lost a split decision, but let's be real, never should have been a split decision. But now he's back against Riku Masuda. And I think Donaire makes things competitive in this fight. You know, Masuda's not going to go and blast him out of there. But as much as I really want to see Donaire win, it's possible. I just don't know if it does happen, though. I don't think it will happen. You know, we saw there's a big difference from going in there with a guy like Campos and then going in there with a guy like Tatsumi. This is an interesting one, this Masuda one. Again, I don't think they're loads different style-wise, Tatsumi and Masuda. Masuda's southpaw, though, which I think can make things a bit more awkward for Nonito Donaire. But I think it's an interesting one to talk about. I mean, Nonito Donaire, legend of the sport, and Masuda, clearly a good up-and-coming guy who, let's be honest, is awkward, dangerous. You know, it's an interesting fight. Masuda very quick, got power and speed in his hands. 8 knockouts out of his 9 wins Masuda has. It could be offered to Donaire, but again, Donaire's got power. He's lost his speed, he's lost his agility though. And the thing is, I find it weird why he's fighting these Japanese guys, because all these Japanese guys have ridiculous speed, ridiculous timing. And, you know, that was similar to Donaire in his prime. Ridiculous speed, ridiculous timing. Donaire's lost that speed, he's lost that timing. If he can catch a flush, then he'll hurt you still, but the timing's not what it was. Masuda's going to be moving quicker. Donaire, right now, a lot of the time, is just sitting up, really waiting for moments. And that's what we saw in his last 2 fights. He's sitting up, waiting for moments. And again, when he gets his moments, he can capitalize well, but he's not who he was. And of course not, because he's 43 now. But the age factor is the big thing. He's 43 years old. The reflexes, speed, everything, you know, even activity has declined. But to be fair, though, that 2025 you say was his comeback year. You know, it was only 3 months ago. It's 3 months ago his fight against Tatsumi. You know, he's came right back into it already. This is a 10 rounder this time. I mean, the fact it's a 10 round is interesting because Donaire likes to settle into fights. Those 2 rounds could add a bit more if it was a 12 rounder. Could add a bit more for Donaire. Obviously 43, but still, I feel like he can keep up I feel like he still can keep up a pace. He still knows how to pace himself well, and that's what Donaire has always been known for, really. You know, he has been known to pace himself well. He has been known to, you know, carry his power and his timing throughout the fight, and that still happens. But I don't know if being a 10 round actually puts Donaire at a disadvantage because he grows and works his way into fights and gets better as it goes. And I think Masuda's someone who I expect to start fast here. I expect Masuda to start fast. And again, this favors Masuda more because he, at the end of the day, He's a 10 round guy. He's never fought in. Looking at it, yeah, he has never fought in a 12 round fight before, and in all Masuda's fights, he does like to start quick. He does like to set a pace, and for 33-year-old Nonito Donaire, that might not be good. That might not be good if Masuda can get a pace set straight away. It really could put Nonito Donaire off things, in my opinion. I think, I do think this fight goes to distance, but I don't see Donaire getting into this fight from until round 4 onwards. That's when Donaire gets into this fight, in my opinion. And I think there's a chance he could leave things too late. 10 round fight, comes into it from round 4 onwards. Masuda's still got time to take a few rounds, and that's not going to win every single round from round 4 onwards. Donaire paces himself well, but I do have my doubts. I do see him getting outboxed there. I see him getting beaten to the punch a lot of times here, and Masuda's setting the pace from the off and really just refusing letting Donaire into his rhythm. And the fact Donaire's against a southpaw here as well. It's a fight which he doesn't need to take. I mean, he doesn't even need to still be fighting, but this is just, I think, a risky, awkward, stylistic fight for him. If he loses, then it's like, again, it's Donaire. People are going to be interested whoever he fights, even if he does take a loss here. But it's not ideal for him at all if he loses this fight whatsoever. I mean, Donaire's done everything, in the sport for people to still always be interested, even if he loses this fight, But it's not ideal if he does lose stuff. It's not ideal, but again, it's not a career ruiner because he's already made his career. That's the point that he's already at. And that's why he can't take these fights, I guess. But it's a fight which he doesn't need to take it. So I just don't like the stylistic matchup for him. Masuda's got very good footwork, very good at being able to dictate in the lead foot battle. And Donaire right now, let's be real, he's not as quick on his feet as he was. I see Masuda circling round him, jab pumping out in Donaire's face. And I think Donaire's going to have to be able to get in, and I find it very difficult. I don't think he's going to be able to stay in if he does get in. I just see a complete scenario where Donaire gets outboxed for the 10 rounds. Donaire will take rounds here and there in the mid rounds and do well. Masuda will start well. Donaire takes a few mid rounds. But then Masuda just boxes, rings around, it works the body. The straight left could be a problem, in my opinion. I don't like the fight for Donaire. I really don't think it's a good stylistic matchup for him. He could have taken a way easier fight, but wait and see what happens here. But I don't see ending well for Donaire at all. I think he loses decision. He will still stand his ground well at times. His counters, his timing, they're just not there now.